UFL dubbed the game to kill FIFA. This game was originally announced to release back in 2002, 2003, I believe, but it is just released today. I wanted to give you a first impressions, especially as I am a long-term FIFA player. Very interesting to see this game launched. It is available on the Xbox series, it's available on the PlayStation 5, and it's also available on Steam. This is also fully cross-play as well. Now, I've jumped into this game with no expectations whatsoever. This is free to play after all. So I wanted to see just, what this game actually had to offer. How good would it even be? As a free to play game, you don't really know what to expect. But you know what? It's pretty close to FIFA. Now, I'm not saying it's FIFA graphics by any stretch of the imagination. I do think general gameplay wise, at the very least, is nowhere near as good as FIFA. However, the cutscenes that you get before and after and during matches are very, very good graphics. Quite impressed, actually. Everything that you would expect to have in this game is in this game. You have some really nice stadiums, you have some really cool teams, you have great graphics when it talks to about, the players that you're actually looking at, the cutscenes there. You have your commentators, you have team selection, you can customize your team. This is an online game. There's going to be a ranking system. There's going to be competitive PvP games here. And for the most part, from what I've seen so far, it works really well. You get to create a brand new club. You get to name it. You get a standard team. And of course, with time, you get to improve that team. Now, from what I can tell, every player that's in the real game is in this game enabled for you to hire. However, something I did notice is that there is also a split screen option, which I do really like that they put in, especially as this is a free-to-play game. They certainly didn't need to. But in a free-to-play game, I did notice there aren't exactly a lot of real teams available for you to pick. Hopefully more of them do get added in later date. I think that licenses for this game is going to be quite difficult for it to get, obviously, because it is trying to compete with FIFA after all. A thing that I did notice is that there are daily missions, there are weekly missions that you can complete and earn in-game rewards. You can exchange these in-game rewards, hopefully for some players, some better players to join your team. Now, as well as the players that you can get to join your team, you can also change your kits and your badge and the ball and all of that jazz as well. All of that's going to cost in-game currency. There are a stack of microtransactions available for real money, and of course it will stack up. We are talking about a lot of money that can be spent in this game, which you do fully understand. This is a free-to-play game after all, so that is to be expected. But if you don't pay to have that increased amount of money, as you can see, these players cost an extortionate amount of money, especially considering your starting amount. Now, you can earn money in a game. Like I said, this is free to play, so you can earn money in a game by simply winning matches, doing missions, or doing events, and you'll get a decent amount of money. But it is going to take you a long time to get one of these players, let alone if you want a full squad of them. Or of course you can just skip the lot, buy the best players, and I'm assuming be able to go up in ranks very, very quickly. That being said, the starting currencies that you have is probably enough to get yourself half a dozen 70-ish rated players, which is enough to upgrade your squad quite considerably, considering when you start out, you're looking all pretty much 60 or below. Now, I have had a few games in this so far. I've had a single player game, as in, your classic split screen, which again, I absolutely appreciate being in here. But there was a clear difference between the gameplay in that single player and then going online, because when you go online, it can be quite, jittery, and it can lag a fair bit. Now, in a FIFA game, in a football game, that lag is going to cost you massively. So hopefully they manage to improve the servers as time goes on. At the moment, there is clearly a slight issue, and although the controls are very similar, if not exact, to FIFA, so in other words, you're going to be very familiar with the controls playing this game, the utility of them and the way the actual characters themselves move on that pitch is a little bit clunky. And this is a fast game as well. Like when it comes to movement on that pitch and, accelerating the ball from one end to the other, the passes of that ball themselves, the shot, the speed that ball travels is quite fast. This is a much faster than FIFA. At least the last couple of FIFAs have been a little bit slower. This is very, very quick, very, very fast. Something I did notice after some wins is that your characters, your team actually seem to rank up and level up. That's an interesting thing. Their stats get better the more wins you get. I haven't played it out yet. Like, I haven't played enough games to really know the true extent of that, how much you can actually boost one of your players, but I do quite like that. It's a really interesting thing. Also, after the game, I was able to recap all of the highlights within that match too. So if I wanted to double check how I done something, for instance, I was able to re-watch a highlight or two, maybe even find out where I went wrong. All in all, honestly, I really enjoyed this game. I think when you consider FIFA being a AAA rated game, it being over £50 to buy, and some of the packages that are available in that are extortionate when it comes to the Ultimate Team as well. There's microtransactions in that too. So not only are you buying the base game, but you're also buying those microtransactions within FIFA. They earn an absolutely bucket load. I think that this game could compete, at least give it a good go, considering it's free, considering if you like a football game and you can't afford FIFA, this game is absolutely free. So I think it could give FIFA a run for its money, at least enough for FIFA. For instance, the week of this game's release has gone free to play. I don't know what that is about. I don't know why FIFA is so worried. I think people are always going to play FIFA games. But yeah, they've gone free to play as this game come out, at least for a little bit at least. So I think that's quite funny. If you have happened to play this game, please let us know what you think of this game. We're really interested to know what the community think, what your experiences are like, because of course, I can only tell you how I've played and what my experiences are. All in all, I was very impressed with this game. There's clearly room for improvement, absolutely. But you know what? I got no DCs, which is a big thing that I really thought I would, because at one point the game was quite laggy. I was wondering if I was going to DC. That would absolutely suck. But I didn't have any of that. It worked-ish perfectly fine. Yes, there's some lag. Yes, that's going to be an issue in this type of game. But all in all, I was very impressed, and it is free to play. I do have to admit, the one aspect I really need them to improve upon in order for me to actually continue playing, though, is going to be the commentary. If you play this game, you'll realize just how below par the commentary within this game is, other than the other football games that are out there. It's pretty bad when the commentary are referring to the player's position rather than their names. That's a little bit weird. Not to mention a rant about ball boys that we had for about 2 minutes long. Not really sure what that was about, but anyway. Until next time, we've been Inquisitively Curious. I've been a monk, and we'll see you next time. Until then, happy gaming.